Hey there, guys. Excuse me. Video Psych here with another video. And since there is a recent comment that I don't want to forget to reply to, I decided to make this video today, and I'll try to make it not make it too long. It's where sometimes it's hard to speak, but anyway. So I'll bring up the comment here. Now clear my throat out because it's not clearing up. Swear to God. Okay. So 4 days ago on one of my videos, somebody noted, I recommend guys who can't find themselves connecting with their local women to get life together, gain financial independence and extra income. Then get a passport and find a wife in Thailand, Japan, China, or Philippines. Even if you think you have difficulty with your charisma, the foreign women, especially the humble ones, will help you out of your shell. Most Western American Canadian guys are very highly desired by Asian women, even if you aren't desired in the USA. And I replied back, I think many races on the planet are just too used to or get tired of things from the men or women that they do over at their countries is all. I've seen from both sides men and women coming from other countries to here, and the men and women are always different towards them in many ways you otherwise wouldn't ever normally see. And it's the same in other countries. It's because for them, being from another country makes people think they are different from or mysterious when they are just people like us, really. They're just humans like us. And I've kind of had to learn this the hard way when I was growing up as a teen, especially. And I'm of course, not criticizing the guy that said that or anybody that thinks the same. I just think that you guys deserve to know this because this, ended up, being a negative thing in my lifetime that even to this day, there's a couple of things that I actually can't even talk about on this video. It's because it was that shitty what happened in the past. And the reason why I said that to him is because, they're just human beings like us, is because, we all have wants and we all have needs. And, even if they might, let's say, kind of look different like Asians and African American, etc., that doesn't really mean that they're any different from us. And they might have a different lifestyle from where their country is from, maybe even very different, like Korea and the US are very different lifestyles. But if a person comes from another country and then comes over here, learns our language, etc., after, let's say, a few years, especially a few years, you aren't going to hardly be able to tell the difference between how they act around us, etc., in the way they speak sometimes, although they might still have an accent at least. And the reason is because, they're just people. In the end, they're just people. They aren't really any different from us. And I would say the biggest examples is from the German that actually lived with us for about a year, maybe. And of course, I have many stories of him. And I would say, though, he was also the one that did the most negative things towards me out of anybody that I've ever met from another country, too. Because, I guess, also some people thought he was good looking, too, and had a nice accent. But because of this, he eventually knew that, hey, these people think that I'm different because I'm from Germany. I have a German accent, etc. And so he was just kind of taking advantage of that. And, people were just thinking of him as this really great person, even though they've just only met him. And they were always asking him questions all the time and were curious of him. And the women tended to think that he was mysterious because, oh, a guy from another country, blah, blah, blah. And so the women thought he was mysterious. And women tend to think, being mysterious is romantic. And so they also took a liking to him. And I remember one time he was just helping out these lumber yard guys. And some of them were lumberjack men, very hard workers, etc. And he wasn't doing he wasn't really necessarily doing the job, but he was helping out a bit, and load up trucks and stuff. And at one point, there was just a small group of women cheering him on nearby, and he just waves at them, of course. And then I quite literally see, not far from him, just a couple of the lumberjack men just look at each other as they're tying up the wood onto the truck. They just give each other a look like, what the fuck? And I know what they're thinking when they saw those women cheering him on. They're just like, what the fuck? He didn't really hardly do anything. Why are they cheering him on? And they're like, oh, Cedric, you're such a hard worker. Such a great person. Even though from time and time again, I mean, especially when you live with this person, you just recognize the fact that he was just another jackass, is all he was. That's all he was just another jackass. That's all he was. I'm dead serious. But people were just idolizing this guy, almost like he was a celebrity or something. No joke. But, I think in part it's because people just get desperate. They get very desperate. And when people also get desperate, they dream. And when they start dreaming, sometimes I think the desperation and the dreaming come together. And then for them, mentally, it becomes almost like a reality. Of course, in a way, if you look at it at one angle, you might think, well, shit, these people are nuts. But, on one other hand, it's understandable. It's like nuts, but for an understandable reason. And, of course, I wasn't desperate at the time, which is why I was kind of seeing through all this. I was just, because even I at the time was just like, what the fuck? This guy's just another jackass. Why are these people just idolizing this guy from Germany? And that's the thing. And another thing that I have to say about, the commenter is, so his thinking is, okay, so you're having a hard time with the women over here, but what makes you think that you're going to have an easier time with the women overseas? Now, I'm not saying that you aren't going to have an easier time with the women overseas, but here's another thing to think about. There's still plenty of people that think that all Americans are rich, right? And that's the reason why these Asian women, let's say from Thailand, are going to be nice to you, is because they think that you're rich, because you're from America. That's why they're nice to you. And they think, oh, I'll just go to America with this American dude, and I'll just take advantage of, his, riches, etc., and just be his wife and just live happily ever after, right? Well, what's going to happen is that you're going to bring that woman from Thailand over to your country possibly, and then she's going to realize, well, shit, this guy's just another broke-ass fucker that that I just came all the way from Thailand over to marry. And then so now, you might have seen this lady happy on the short term, but you're going to see her unhappy on the long term when she realizes this. And I know that's what's going to happen probably to my friend, one of my friends from work. I won't say his name, but that's what he's doing right now. He found a family that accepted, payment for a woman from Thailand. And because of COVID, what happened during COVID, they haven't been able to get married and bring her over to America. But here soon enough, she's going to come over here. And he's then she's going to realize, well, shit, this American is just another broke ass person over here in the US. And now I'm stuck with him. And I guarantee you, she is going to be pissed. Let me tell you. And another thing is, so you have a hard time with women. Well, again, what makes you think that you're going to have an easier time with the women over in a different country? Because the way that we treat women over here is very different from how we treat women in Japan, Thailand, etc. And they're going to expect men to act a certain way over there versus over here. Now, it's not to say that there aren't Asian women that, necessarily don't or do like American men, because there are, women that do. But, you've also got to think about this before you do it too. What's your plan when you go into there? And how are you going to present yourself to these women? And of course, I have nothing against people that want to go to a different country and find somebody. In fact, if anything, I encourage it. I encourage any way of finding somebody that you want, whether it's from being in a different country or a group, etc. I really don't care. But these are the things that you need to think about: is what is your plan when you present yourself to these women? How are you going to impress them? And how are you going to show them that you have intelligence, you have strength? And, that's presented differently in other countries than it is here, because I've even seen plenty of women, especially in Japan, that actually the American guys have gone to there and the women just laugh at them because, it's like, well, shit, you don't know how to be around the women here and how to connect to the women here in the US. And then so when they go to Japan, they have absolutely no clue how to connect to the women over in Japan either, is what I'm trying to say. And that is something that you need to think about, And, we all live a different lifestyle. There's so many different lifestyles that it's just not, we can't process how many lifestyles there are on this planet. And that's another thing that you also have to think about is, can I also work with, this different lifestyle and this person with a different lifestyle too? Can you work with that? And that's something that you should probably look into is, what kind of lifestyle does this person like to live? And what types of things do they like, etc. Because if it's just something like, oh, yeah, I'm a gamer. It's like, oh, I'm a gamer too. It's like, oh yeah, we should do just fine. Come on. There's got to be a bit more in common than, oh, I like to play video games and I'm a gamer girl, blah blah. Because if that's all that you're going by, then I think you're going to be shit out of luck of how long that relationship's going to last. But with that being said, and again, just don't think that these people are just different from the women. Don't think that the women are just so different from the women over in different countries than they are here, is basically what I'm trying to say. The women over there also have needs, they have wants, etc., just like the women over here. And if you bring a woman from a different country over to here, you're going to see that fact. And one day you might see them start to bitch a lot. And one day they might not start being very nice because now they're over here and they're like, well, shit, now I can start being myself. They aren't, trying to show off that appearance to you anymore. So now they're going to be themselves now that they're over here. And you might not like the person that you see. I've seen it happen many, many times. And that's another thing to think about. But with that being said, I'll just end the video. And again, before you just go out there to another country and try to get married with somebody else or have relationships with somebody else in a different country, just, have a plan. Don't just go for it. You need to have a plan. Because if you don't, you're going to be out of a shitload of money, and you might go through a really bad experience. And I'll end this video here. I'll see you guys later. Bye.